On New Year's Day, I learned I was already gone. January 1st, 2026. I was standing in my childhood living room, the one with the cracked clock that never kept time, when my mother handed out gifts like blessings, wrapped boxes, warm smiles, names spoken with care. She skipped me. Not by accident, by design. I waited, long enough for silence to turn loud, long enough for my absence to become visible. When I finally asked, softly, respectfully, she didn't look surprised. She looked relieved. "Why bother spending on you?" she said, voice flat. "You've always been the one who strayed from our path." The room tightened. My sister leaned back, amused. "We only invite you out of habit," my mother added. "You're the odd one out in this family." My sister chuckled. "Now you get it. You're not really on our level anymore." I smiled, not because it didn't hurt, because something finally made sense. I picked up my coat. No goodbyes, no drama. I walked out while the clock stayed broken behind me. That was the last gift they ever gave me. I used to believe families fracture slowly, small misunderstandings, missed calls, quiet disappointments. I was wrong. It fractures the moment you stop being useful. I remembered when I was the dependable one, the fixer, the buffer, the one who paid quietly, apologized first, adjusted always. I was the bridge that kept their chaos from collapsing. They called it love. I called it loyalty. I thought distance would make them value me. Instead, it made them rewrite me. I became the rebel, the failure, the one who changed. What they never said out loud, until that day, was that my independence embarrassed them. My refusal to live by their script felt like betrayal, so they decided to erase me instead. The signs were subtle at first. Group chats going silent when I joined, decisions made without me, stories retold with me edited out, holidays rearranged, money discussed like I wasn't listening, even when I was paying. I noticed patterns, and I stopped confronting them. Control isn't loud, it's observant. The real moment came 3 months before New Year's. An email forwarded accidentally, my name in it, not as family, but as a liability. A discussion about inheritance, about fair distribution, about how I'd already taken enough. That was when the hurt burned out, and something colder replaced it. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I didn't warn. I planned. I reviewed documents, old agreements, loans I'd co-signed, accounts I managed quietly because you're good with numbers. I stopped managing them. I withdrew support, legally, cleanly, silently. I updated contracts, set boundaries in ink. I documented everything they'd ever asked me to handle. Then I handed it back, piece by piece. I moved assets into my name where they belonged. I closed shared access. I stopped fixing their mistakes, stopped smoothing their conflicts, stopped being the invisible spine. They didn't notice at first. They never notice the floor until it's gone. By the time January arrived, the cracks were already spreading. Bills missed, deadlines forgotten, favors unreturned. My sister's business stalled when my small advice disappeared. My mother's plans hit walls when my connections went quiet. Still, they invited me, out of habit. They thought the hierarchy was intact. They thought I'd sit quietly in my place. That's why they felt safe humiliating me. When I left that house, I didn't go home. I went to my lawyer. The final step. A letter was sent the next morning. Formal, polite, unemotional. It outlined exactly what support ended, what responsibilities reverted, and what access was permanently revoked. No accusations, just consequences. They called, texted, panicked. I didn't answer. The confrontation came 2 weeks later. Not dramatic, desperate. My mother's voice shook. My sister was suddenly reasonable. They asked when I became so cold. I told them the truth. I didn't change, I said. I just stopped pretending you didn't. Silence. They finally understood. Not that they'd hurt me, but that they'd miscalculated. Now, months later, I think about that smile I wore when I left. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't weakness. It was clarity. I didn't destroy my family. I simply stepped out of the role that kept them standing. And when I did, the structure collapsed under its own weight. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just walks away and takes everything with it. January 1st, 2026 didn't end my year. It ended my submission. And I've never slept better since.